Hello, everybody, and welcome to TitanUp Tuesday. And this is the fourth iteration of it here on the channel, Curtis's Podcast Network. Of course, I am the host, Curtis Brown. With me, as always, our regular Titan fan, Blake Bellamy. And we have a special guest, Titans Fox, Mark Fox, whatever you want to call him. He's the Fox. And he's joined us today, and we're going to talk Titans with him. Mark, thanks for coming on, brother.
Absolutely a pleasure.
All right. So let's get into it. The free agent class this year for the Titans has not been the most eye-popping, but they've tried to address some needs, particularly on a budget, and with the exception of maybe Andre Dillard's contract, I should say. But how are you guys feeling about it so far? Whoever wants to dive on that one.
Personally, I feel like the free agent pool, we let some get away, especially, for example, the deal that was just signed for DJ Chark, that whole 1 year, $5 million thing, and which is kind of where Rand Carthon was going with the whole trying to get as many possible holes filled without overspending, and that way they'd have a little bit of room to work with cap space wise. But seeing some of those free agents that I thought they could actually really add some depth to our team, and WI might end up fifth or sixth. That's okay with me if it's quality players from the draft and the actual and the free agents market. I think it would have worked out pretty well. But I think we skipped over most of the wide receivers and just concentrated on everything else, which makes me wonder if that's where we're going in the draft, is straight wide receiver, maybe one offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the biggest story with the whole free agency class is the lack of stories. Because yeah, like you said, it's a lot of been missed opportunities. Chark, super cheap, went to Carolina. Mecole Hardman, we were talking about with Jordan last week. I mean, we could have got him cheap. I mean, the market was like a 1 year, $4 million. I think that's exactly what he got for the New York Jets. So it's a really unfortunate. I mean, last year we lost AJ Brown. We replaced him with Treylon Burks. This year we lose Robert Woods. We're replacing with nobody. I mean, I don't understand what's going on. So I feel like we have to go wide receiver round one, but I just don't. I know this is a new GM and all, but the Titans just have a history of drafting terrible first round wide receivers. So I'm a little afraid of it. I do like Treylon Burks. The only issue with him is he does have a lot of concentration drops. He missed a lot of wide open catches last year, but he did pull in some highlight reel catches too. So I don't know if it's just rookie jitters. My main concern with him is injuries and the lack of a number one wide receiver. I think he's number two for right now until he proves himself otherwise. But I'm afraid. I do think one eye to look at is Corey Davis. I wouldn't be shocked if Corey Davis comes back. I feel like there'd be interest on the Tennessee side, but I don't know if Corey Davis would want to come back to Nashville, considering we benched him toward the end of that season. And he was another one of those guys that had a lot of those like soft tissue injuries that Mike Vrabel so famously speaks out against.
Yeah, just from the outside looking in, it looks like the Titans haven't really addressed much of anything in the wide receiver room. Have they done anything tight end wise yet? I know they let Hooper go, and I think he's in Las Vegas now.
Yep.
And then
I think Swain's still a free agent, isn't he?
yeah,
God, I hope so.
nobody's
I hope somebody picks him
pining
up.
for that guy's services. Like, oh, we got to get that Jeff Swaim in here. That's our last piece.
I hope he goes to Indianapolis on like a 4-year deal.
Probably be the starter. Oh man. Okay. All right. Are there any free agents out there right now that you think the Titans should probably sink their teeth into? Because I mean, obviously Odell Beckham's still out there, but I don't think he's going to come to Tennessee unless you overpay him, because he knows he's not about to get however many targets he likes. And that's half of the selling point of other teams. That other teams are going to throw the ball a little bit more. And it's kind of like with the Ravens. Not many wide receivers want to go to the Ravens because Lamar doesn't throw the ball. You don't have to worry about a running quarterback necessarily in Tennessee, but you got Derrick Henry who's got to have 30 touches. and that takes catches out of other people's hands and kind of really limits the Titans on who wants to go spend a year or more in Tennessee, at least with this current formatting.
I mean, if I was a wide receiver, I would not. I would stay clear from Tennessee. There's no chance if I'm a wide receiver, unless I want easy paycheck, there's no way I'm coming to Nashville. Heck no. You're getting 3 targets a game if you're lucky, 1 catch, maybe an interception thrown your way. That's about it.
That is actually true. Although I feel like if you remember the 2000 season, back before the injury-plagued Titans became a thing, I mean, with that play action and everything, when we had an actual offensive line, back when we still had Saffold and everybody else that was like our main starters, and before we started trading them all away, that a lot of those play action plays, like you watched AJ put over 1,000 yards easy, like he didn't, and it was spread out. Like you'd see, oh, that's the 7th receiver Tannehill passed to. You got Jonnu Smith over here, and this 4th string wide receivers catching passes, but it was spread out a lot more. And then it became so narrowed down, and the offensive line started getting worse. So you see so much of this whole, it doesn't even make it worth it to pass it because you don't have time. You're already being chased, a second after snapping the ball, and like where's the time for a route to develop? So you either hand it to Henry or you chance it.
Yeah.
So I see what you mean by that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people, like you said, he'll throw it 7 different receivers. We usually in the first half of the game, and people always say game manager like it's such an insult, but Tannehill, I mean, you need a game manager, you want that, and I think he does a great job, and I am happy. It looks like he's coming back, unless we make some huge play for a CJ Stroud or something, which I don't foresee happening. I just don't think we have the capital for it. I'm happy with Tannehill under center next year. My biggest concern is who's going to block for him, who's going to catch these passes, because you can have CJ Stroud, but if he's getting killed and if he has no one to throw to, then you're setting up a rookie for failure. And it's going to continue that cycle of rookie quarterbacks that just flame out of the league. And I would hate to put any rookie behind this Titans offensive line, assuming it's anything like last year's.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's my 60 seconds, by the way, for the future.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, watching Malik Willis struggle as mightily as he did last year should make every Titans fan at least be, hesitant about throwing in a rookie next year. Because Malik Willis, while he obviously had a great learning curve to get ahead of because of the way that this offensive system was run in college, he's still a freak athlete, and it's still kind of amazing that he played however many games and never even managed to get over 100 yards passing. That's like a failure on so many different levels of the team. That's scheming. That's just general offensive coaches just not understanding what they have. It's the wide receivers not catching passes. I mean, hell, the game he had against Houston was just abysmal. I mean, and it's not like Houston was anything to write home about last year at all, but there's just got to be a lot of concern for anybody trying to bring in or banging the table that they need to bring in a rookie quarterback. If you don't fix the other things, you're going to ruin him. I just wish Texans fans thought the same way about Davis Mills and whatnot, but what it is. Anyway, you guys got anything else about that before we go into the draft?
Yes, one quick thing. As far as Malik Willis goes, you're right. Like there are so many fans just up in arms, like, let's just go ahead and release him now. You literally said at the beginning of when we actually drafted him, like before preseason even started, this guy is going to need at least a year. Yeah. Don't just throw him to the Wolves. But then as soon as Tannehill went down, that's exactly what happened. He went right to the Wolves. And so now everybody looks badly at him. That's like, well, give him time to develop. He might end up, for now, maybe even this year, he's a backup. But in the long run, there might be an opportunity there.
Yeah.
Just got to let him have to hone his skills.
Yeah, hone his skills, build some confidence under himself. And, one of the big things that you can tell is Like when you're playing a rookie quarterback, their urgency to run is like they're going to run way more often than normal, just because they don't want to mess up. And that's just something he was doing all the time, just kind of taking
Yeah.
off and running if the first read wasn't there. And it kind of got his team to some Dutch sometimes, but his athleticism got him some plays occasionally. So I mean, he'll have to learn how to like balance that out and actually run when the lanes are there and not try to like just run because the first read is not available.
Yeah, and I
Um,
don't know if you even remember, but he got benched in the preseason for Logan Woodside
mhm.
because he was running it. And Mike Vrabel was like, "You're a quarterback, man. Pass the football." So
Yeah,
they took him out of the game and threw in Woodside. And Woodside threw a pick. And like, all right, let's throw Malik Willis back out
yeah.
there.
Logan Woodside.
Yeah,
It's
thank God
amazing
he's
that man
gone.
still has a job.
There's hope for us being in the NFL, I guess. If Dennis Daly can get a 2-year deal, I think anyone can get a contract in the NFL at this point.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know, right? The dude, I swear, I made a clip and I don't remember which one I posted it on, but I did a replay of one of Daly's blocks, well, missed blocks, and the defensive end came around behind him, ran straight past him, didn't like he wasn't even there, and then he blocked somebody invisible behind him, and I just had it on loop, and I started playing a song like I don't even remember what it was. It was something about I missed the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Titans should have just threw 10 players out every week.
Yeah.
But 2-year contract, yeah, that was a huge mistake on the Cardinals' part. Kyler Murray's going to get destroyed.
Well, it looks like they're going to move him down to guard instead of him playing tackle. I don't know if that's going to help his ass any, but damn.
Maybe.
I can't wait to see him going twice a year against Aaron Donald. That's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah. He's just going to get waxed. All right.
Rest
let's
in
get
peace,
in-
Kyler Murray.
His RIP, his career. Let's get into the draft here. So we've got pick number 11 on the clock for the Titans. Pieces being what they are now, no trades made from today on. Who do you think Titans go for at 11? Do you think they trade back?
Okay, for me right now, I've been very consistent. I want Paris Johnson. I understand we have no wide receivers, and I 100% understand that. But I am so paranoid from last year. I just don't want to see our quarterback dying again because Tannehill's going to get murdered. And if we do draft a wide receiver, I guarantee he's going to be gone in 5 years. If we draft a left tackle, he could be here for 10. Because the Titans, historically, we're going to value offensive linemen way more than receivers. Wide receivers, it's much easier to find them than a perennial left tackle, which I think Paris Johnson could be. So I think setting up ourselves up for the long run, I think we have to go Paris Johnson. If he's there, I say get him. If the other guy, Skorinsky from Northwestern's gone, either trade back or get a wide receiver that they absolutely love. I don't want to take a wide receiver round one, but if there's no better options, I say go for it. But I want Paris Johnson just because I think the longevity of him being here is worth the risk.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. My initial real want and need is, like you said, Blake, the longevity that you're probably going to get out of somebody like Paris Johnson. Now, Peter Skoronsky, the one thing that I did kind of lean towards him a little bit on is the fact that he plays both left tackle and left guard. And we've got Andre Dillard, who has literally stated in an interview that he's gunning for that left tackle position. He's going to try and prove himself and show why he was a first round pick. But so if we were able to flex somebody in at left guard like Skoronsky, and then if Dillard doesn't work out, you move him right over. So he is an option. I feel like he'll be off the board by then with the Bears and Falcons picking before us. But if in the unlikely scenario that Paris Johnson and Skoronsky are off the board, I would say Chance wide receiver, and I'd probably say Jackson Smith, Najigba.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
All right. So let's just assume that the Titans have one of those two tackles land at 11 and they go with one of those two tackles. I'm not even going to say who. Second round is now on the clock. There's Cedric Tillman on the board somehow. do you take him?
Is Jalen Hyatt there?
Probably not. He probably is
Zay
going to
Flowers
be a late
there?
first, early second. I would imagine.
Well, early second's not bad because we kind of are early second.
What do y'all?
We're at 41, I think.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys could
So
probably get him.
And this
yeah,
is a
I
wide
was
receiver
thinking.
deep class, but there's a lot of a lot of mock drafts I've seen. Wide receivers aren't really going until like around 15, which is unlike a lot of years in really the last 10, 15 years. Where wide receivers can go off the board really early. It seems like late first round, early second round is where all these receivers are getting mocked to. So I think in the second round, I think it will kind of be like AJ Brown in 2019, where we're going to basically have a pick of the litter of who we want at 41.
Yeah.
If Tillman's there, I mean, I if we go offensive line round 1, then I feel like we have to go wide receiver round 2, and then I think vice versa. If we go wide receiver round 1, then we have to go offensive line. I don't care the position, honestly. There's a center that we love taking center. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if Aaron Brewer's your penciled in center right now at like
I'm gonna start
275
praying.
pounds, yeah, the man needs to go on like a strict diet to gain some weight. He needs to be up at 300 minimum.
Yeah.
I know he's short, but come on, bud. Come on, bud. Eat those protein bars. Eat the protein shakes with the whey in it. Let's go.
Take PEDs, hang out with Taylor Lewan. I don't care what you got to do. Pass that drug test and play center. I don't care. I'll risk 4 games because it's whatever. It's 4 games. So
Yeah.
I'll have him week 5, roided out. Let's go.
All right.
Personally, I kind of liked if Jalen Hyatt is off the board late first round. I did like him as if we've already got our tackle or our offensive lineman in the first round. I was thinking him if we do end up taking wide receiver in the first. Steve Avila, actually from TCU, he looks really good in the fact that he's flexible from left guard to center, and like he can flip back and forth. So if we bolster something later on in the draft, we might be able to go back on that, and maybe Brewer's the backup center.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a whole lot of size. He's not going to help you on a quarterback sneak.
No.
Like, what's going to push?
No. He outweighs the quarterback by like 25 pounds. He needs to figure something out. So, all right. That's not. I mean, that's honestly pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Who's your Mark? Who's your number 1 wide receiver in this class right now? Is it Jackson Smith?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Yeah,
Where do you have Zay Flowers? Because Zay Flowers, the more I watch him, the more I like him. And I feel like he might have the edge as number 1 for me. I love watching him play, and he can play inside, outside. From what I've heard and read, it looks like he can run block. You don't really see a lot of run block highlights from wide receivers on YouTube, but I have an insider with one of the an NFL quarterback, and he went to one of the pro days and was like, that might be the best wide receiver in the draft. And I'm kind of leaning toward him, man. He's a good source I got, and I kind of like him a lot. I'll tell you who it is once this ends, but
Okay. In my little draft scenario that I dream up sometimes, I figured that if it wasn't JSN, obviously Johnston's gonna go very high. But Zay was the one that I was thinking was gonna be like if we were to trade back from 11, that we could pick him up at like say 22 or 20, and maybe pick up another second rounder.
Yeah.
In addition to getting him, and I thought that would be a solid pickup because he's shown such explosiveness on the field.
It's very true.
Sure.
One guy that does scare me is Johnston. The more I watch him, because everyone was like, "Oh, that's the next Calvin Johnson," which it's hard to project someone like a Hall of Famer. But another comparison that he reminds me of is Kevin White. You guys remember that guy?
Yeah.
Wide receiver. I think
That
he's
was
a
a while
fifth overall
back.
pick from
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fast as hell. Couldn't stay healthy.
He kind of reminds me of him. Johnston doesn't really have the production that you would want from maybe a number 1 wide receiver in a draft, and also he has injury problems too. And the fact that he does have injury issues makes me lean that Vrabel's probably going to reach for him. But that's what kind of scares me. I'd be pretty disappointed if he was our wide receiver taken, especially if both those offensive linemen that we talked about are gone.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a whole new draft though. Like we've had 5-6 years of J Rob, and we've seen all these risks with very few rewards when it comes to injured players. Obviously, Jeff Simmons was the
only
huge
one.
exception. He
Yeah.
was the golden boy. But we've seen so many others. I mean, look at Caleb Farley. I mean, he spent 2 years not able to perform at all, and there's still fans out there with hope that he's gonna step up this year because he's been working out more, putting on extra weight, and he has this confidence about him. They're like, if he can stay healthy, he might actually show why they drafted him in the first round in the first place.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to. I don't think Rand is one of those that's going to go straight up injury. I mean, how many 49ers did you see drafted in the past couple of years that were injury prone right out of the draft? Not very many.
Not very many.
I can't think of any.
All right, so yeah, I think we're running out of time on this one, guys. So I want to go ahead and thank Mark for coming on. If you have the opportunity, go follow his Facebook page, Mark Fox Titans, or right?
Titan Fox.
Titan Fox. Sorry, what is the dyslexia? And then Blake, thanks for coming on, brother. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. We're trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber goal, so please be a part of that journey with us. We're up 990% since the start of last season. So, let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000. All right. So, without any further ado, be good people, y'all.